Hey guys, how's everybody doing this evening? Just wanted to come on and talk about a few things. Hope you guys had a good Monday. I had a pretty good Monday. Had a pretty good weekend. Didn't do a lot, but I needed to make videos, but I didn't even do that. So it was a relaxing weekend. Um, so one of the things I want to talk about is patience. And I don't know if it's just me, but I get this is another thing that's a pet peeve of me when people say, oh, the older you get, the less patience you have. And I don't understand that because as you get older, you generally have more time on your hands. So to go and be impatient, say you go to the grocery store, you go to the bank or something, why isn't that, and I've done this a lot of my life, and that's probably why I'm a kind of a patient person. It's like, if you don't have time to go do something, why go in a heavier expectation when you go into somewhere? Like, say you go into the grocery store and you're pissed because there's a whole bunch of people in there shopping for groceries, and there's lines, and there's the self-checkout, and then there's two actual checkers that are checking people out. And I don't understand when people, my whole thing is you need to allow enough time to go to these places. Don't just act like you're in a hurry all the time. And that's, what I find with some of my clients. I have a client that I've had, and they're always busy. Their excuses, they're always busy. They don't have time to do this. Oh, we're too busy. We're just the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, why have a dog if you're too busy? I just don't get that. I don't get how people think. And I don't want to know, to be honest, to be quite frank, because it just seems like people want to have an excuse instead of having a solution. And for me, I allow enough time. I don't just run in somewhere hoping that I'm going to get in and out of there quickly, because it usually it's not that way. And it just seems like people are so impatient, so in a hurry, and they're just running, running, running. I'm just busy, busy, busy. It's like, well, slow down. Slow down. You don't have to be busy. I mean, you have to be busy, but you should be in a patient way, if that makes sense. Have some patience, have some kind. It's not all about you getting checked out in a quick time. There's other people in there. And that's the whole thing with people when they say, this YouTube channel is just about me, me, me. It's about me and how I handle certain situations. And it's the same way with when you're a patient person. If you go in somewhere, and I think what is the big thing here, and this is, I could even do another video on this, is expectations. If you have an expectation of a place, that's what fails us, is expectations. So that when people have excuses, they should say, well, that's what I expected, and it didn't come to true, it didn't come true. And I think that's a big thing. If you go into a situation where you're expecting something, and it's true, if you have a high expectation of something and you think you can just run in and, get your stuff and get out, you shouldn't have that expectation. And you should have enough time to go in there. If it takes longer than what you thought it was going to take, then, you have the extra time, and it's not, and that's why I think people, I don't know, there's just a lot of impatient people. People are just impatient about everything anymore, and it doesn't matter. Some people say, oh, it's me, 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 me. No, it's just what they set up for themselves. And if they would set up enough time to go somewhere, and not be in a hurry, then accidents wouldn't happen and things wouldn't happen, because people would be paying attention to their surroundings, and they wouldn't get in that accident. They would be paying attention to, because they're too big in a hurry and trying to do too many things. So I don't know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments what you think. This is just my impression of impatient people, and I think a lot of impatient people are angry with themselves. They're just not happy with themselves, so they can't be patient with somebody else because they're not patient with themselves. And like I've said in several videos, I'm in competition with myself to make myself the better person. So my expectation when I go in somewhere, I allow enough time. If I'm going to the grocery store, or if I'm even going to the bank, I allow enough time for me. I don't just run in there. I allow enough time. And then if it takes longer, I'm just patient with what's going on and just deal with the situation at hand and not get upset because blaming it on the business because they don't have enough people, or blaming it on this because they didn't do this. No, it's on you to set the expectation, not on the business. And just because you went in there on a Saturday night at 9 o'clock before they closed and you got in and out of there really quick doesn't mean you're going to do the same thing at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning when they're having a farmer's market out front. And, you're not going to be able to run in there because there's going to be a lot of people that are in the store because of the farmer's market. And you just got to set your expectation and not even have an expectation. I think that's when you put the energy out there it's never going to be because you're in a hurry and then you have the excuse or tell that, well, it's because they don't have enough checkers. That's why there's all these people. No, if they had all lanes open, it'd still be the same way because there's a lot of people there. And when you've got double people in the lines, yeah, you might get out of there a little bit sooner, but not adding a checker is not going to, you need to add time onto you when you go into somewhere and just expect that it may take a little bit longer because they're busy, because there's a lot of people and they're doing the same thing. So let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.